Hare Krishna,
Yes, yes,
Guruji.
you are.
Okay. So welcome everyone for our Friday evening discussion.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mandaji. How are you?
Prabhuji, good. How about you?
Good, good. So let me just share my screen. So we're going to talk about the essence of life. Now, as you can see in the picture, that there are people who are curious to know what exactly is the essence. I'm sure all of us we are living a life, but the question is, how should we live, and what is the meaning? What is the essence of life? Now, to understand this, we will take something from Srimad Bhagavatam and see how we can better understand. Let's start with prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. So this presentation is dedicated to His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. What we will do is, before I proceed and tell you what this session is all about, I'm sure we are meeting after a long time and you'll find this very useful and helpful. I want you to take a minute. There are about how many? 4, 4, 8, 4, 12 to 14 people. Not even a minute, less than that. Just the first recall of the last session that you attended. Instead of telling what it is, just message me privately. What is the first recall that you are having of the session that you attended? Quickly, you have 30 seconds. If you don't get anything, if I don't get it, I will think that either you don't remember or you've forgotten, whatever it is. So far, I've got only 1, 2, 3, 4 responses, out of which 2 are from one person only, and the other two are from 2 different people. Others, okay. Whatever is coming, you can. Jitendra ji seem to be relying on some mystical source for getting the memory. Okay. Okay, I don't want to wait any further on this. It's fine. So the answers that I got, some pastime of Jiva Goswami. Somebody said Raghunath Bhatta Goswami. Glories of Jiva Goswami, Swamp.
Sorry, that was typo, Prabhuji.
Okay, all right. Jiva Goswami something. Jiva Goswami's devotion to Rupa Goswami. Jnana Vijnana, summary of chapter 15, killing Ravana inside us. Okay. So today what we will do is, I just wanted to see, because we're meeting after a long time, what you are remembering and recalling. Today, we will start with a story of Srila Prabhupada and a cockroach that we heard in the Bhagavatam class today in the morning. Those of you who have heard Chanchalpati Prabhu's latest lecture. That is the beginning, starting of today's session. So actually in Boston, those of you who are not here, and today it was snowing heavily. So there's a devotee who went out to take some photographs, and you can see this is the temple, this is our place of worship, and it's fully laden with snow. And there's another view of this. Practically, you can see that the windows and the doors are all shut. Nobody wants to keep the door or windows open when it is snowing so heavily like this. So Prabhupada, in one such occasions, when he was in the US and it was snowing heavily, when the windows and the doors were all shut, the devotees or Prabhupada himself found a cockroach inside. And then what Prabhupada did was he took that cockroach out and left him outside, saying that now, okay, you go and enjoy. The whole world is there for you to enjoy. Right? For a second, just think, if you are the cockroach, right, and the whole world is given to you. The world is, it is snowing and it's cold outside. I don't know how the cockroach may feel, but virtually, it has been told, this idea has been ingrained that you can enjoy the whole world. Go. The field is yours, the whole world is yours. Go and enjoy. What will you do? How will you figure out what to do in life or how to enjoy? One of the first things which probably can happen to a person or to the cockroach is to find a role model. Look at someone who at least appears to be enjoying. Who seems to be in control of things, situation. So what today I want to do is, I want to talk about 4 words. And these 4 words are our essence of our life, whether we want to take it in the material terms or we want to take it in the spiritual terms. So like this boy who's looking at his father, or probably the grown-up elderly person who is seemingly expert in tying the knot for the necktie. Similarly, the cockroach also looks for some kind of a role model, someone who at least outwardly appears expert or dexterous in enjoying the material world, who has figured it out. In life also, we have many such role models who appear very glamorous, who appear accomplished, who appear successful, and they become grossly or subtly our role models. We idolize them, we keep them as our role model, and then we go after them. Whatever they are trying to do, we also try to follow. So the word pati, anybody knows what is the meaning of the word pati? You can unmute and speak if you know.
Senapati.
Senapati. Okay, there is the word pati there.
Husband.
Husband, yeah.
Pati.
Pati
Master.
actually, yeah,
Master.
is master, husband. Husband is almost right. Of course, it's in Hindi, but also means the same. I mean, who's the controller, who's the husband. And very interestingly, this word pati is used in Bhagavatam at different places. And I just want to give you two references as to who is a pati. Who is the pati is another synonym as controller or the master or husband. Who can he be? Who can take control of our life? Who can give us guidance? Who can give us direction in our life? And Bhagavatam talks about pati, the word pati, in various places. I've just got two references. One is the beautiful verse by Sukadev Goswami, where he's telling Shriya patir yagya pati prajapatir dhyam patir lokapatir dharapatihi patir gatis chandhaka vrishni satvatam prasidatam me bhagavan satam patihi. The translation is, may Lord Shri Krishna, who is the worshipable Lord of all devotees, the protector and glory of all the kings like Andhaka and Vrishni of the Yadu dynasty, the husband of all goddesses of fortune, the director of all sacrifices and therefore the leader of all living entities, the controller of all intelligence, the proprietor of all planets, spiritual and material, and the supreme incarnation on the earth, the supreme all in all, be merciful upon me. Shriya patir yagya patihi prajapatir dhyam patir. Not just one, the word pati is repeatedly used here. Various things that we aspire to possess, various things that we think are necessary. Krishna is the ultimate possessor and the controller of that. Shriya patir yagya patir prajapatir dhyam patir lokapatir dharapatihi patir gatis chandhaka vrishni satvatam prasidatam me bhagavan satam pati. Wonderful purport of this also. And if you just read the translation and see what all qualities Krishna has and how Sukadev Goswami in his short brief prayers before he began to speak Srimad Bhagavatam is glorifying Krishna, is identifying Krishna, or helping us know who Krishna is by all these wonderful adjectives: Shriya patir, Dhara patir, Prajapatir, Dhyam patir. So it tells us who the real controller or the master or the protector of ours can be in this material world. If you still have doubt, if you think, no, maybe I can have some other controller, or there can be somebody else who can also give me shelter and protection, think again, because in Bhagavatam 5th canto, Lakshmi Devi herself prays this wonderful prayer. Just the first two lines, if you see. Savai pati shad akuto bhaya swayam samantatah pati bhayaturam janam. Just these two lines. Savai pati shad akuto bhaya swayam. That person can be considered as patihi. Savai patihi. Certainly, he can only be considered as pati. Shad akuto bhayam swayam, who is fearless himself. Imagine you take shelter of a person who appears to be in control of situation, but you see that he's also having fear. He's also scared of material things. When things go wrong, he also doesn't know how to figure it out. One of the first things that, the qualification which Lakshmi Devi is mentioned in 5th canto is Sa Vaipati Shad Akuto Bhayas Swayam. He himself should be fearless. Akuto Bhayam. Should not be fearful of anyone. And Samantatah Pati Bhayaturam Janam. And anybody who's fearful, when he takes shelter of that person, he'll also become fearless. There is one verse in Bhagavatam, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which is spoken by Vibhishan with respect to Lord Ram, where he's telling Shat, just Sakrateva. I mean, if somebody just takes shelter of Lord Ram once, even just says that I am yours, O Lord, then the Lord gives him fearlessness. He can award fearlessness to one person just if he says, I'm yours, just even once. Sakrut eva. Not anybody else. It's the person who's coming from a demoniac family, of course, is a devotee, but he comes and takes shelter. He comes and there are the monkeys who are looking at him with suspicion, with doubt. But at that point in time, when he decides or when he desires to surrender, Lord Ram says, even if one just says, I'm yours once, oh Lord, I'm yours, then the Lord promises that I will give you fearlessness. So, savai pati shad akuto bhayaswayam samantatah pati bhayaturam janam. So all these material shelters, all these people who are so-called accomplished, successful, big, powerful, who have all this potency, who can promise that they'll give shelter, are actually not truly our shelter. The real pati is that, as per Mother Lakshmi, is one who himself is fearless and who can avoid fearlessness. So what happens to the cockroach when he first finds a role model? When he desires to follow the path of someone who's seemingly in control of situation, the next thing that it does is it follows a path or a gati or a destination. It thinks that, if my role model has achieved this in life, or if people around me who have told that these people are the epitome of success, or this is the definition of success, there is a path which is chalked out. This is the destination. I should also become a millionaire or a multimillionaire. I should also become a business magnate. I should also have nice bungalows, beautiful wife, a drink in parties. I should also go and enjoy, because that's what the material world defines what success is. That's what the material world says what destination is all about. Go for it. Achieve that thing which you have not got, which you lack. And there is a promise you get that and then you will be happy. So that becomes the gati, that's the destination. But interestingly, Bhagavatam again talks about Nate vidu swartha gatim he Vishnu. Nate viduhu swartha gatim he Vishnu. Everybody wants to achieve that success which is so elusive. They're trying hard, but little do they know that the real destination, the real beneficial thing for all of us is Vishnu. Nate viduhu swartha gatim he Vishnu. The real self-interest of each one of us, doesn't matter who you are, where you are coming from, in what position, in what situation we are in. Whether I'm unmarried, want to become successful, I'm married, struggling in life, I'm in my midlife crisis, or I'm in my fag end of my life, or wherever I am, or I'm a small kid. Nate viduhu swartha gatim he Vishnu. The real destination, the real goal of each one of us is Vishnu. Bhagavad Gita also talks about it, about gati, about destination. And the verse that talks about this is, okay, I will skip this. Oh. There are a lot of things getting revealed. I'll come to that verse later. That verse is actually the 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. If you know that verse, it's 9th chapter, 18th verse. The verse is Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasaha Saranam Suhrut Prabhava Pralayah Sthanam Nidhanam Bijam Avyayam. Very beautiful verse, very powerful verse. The 9th chapter is considered, it's called the Rajavidya, the most confidential knowledge, where Krishna is telling Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasaha Saranam Suhrut Prabhava Pralayah Sthanam Nidhanam Vijam Avyaya. First thing is I am the goal. Gatir Bharta. I am the sustainer. Prabhu, I am the controller. I am the Lord. Sakshi, I am the witness. So on and so forth. But the first thing he uses is Gati. So the real destination of all of us, whoever we may be, in whatever position is, sometimes we set our GPS and go in a particular direction. saying that this is our destination. But once we reach that destination, we realize that it is not as promising as it was mentioned, or as it was promised. And then we set another destination, another GPS, another location, and then we go for that. And this we keep doing, keep shifting in our lives, one destination after another, one destination after another. Every time there is a promise, you achieve this, you will get it. The whole world is designed in such a manner that it makes us feel miserable because of things which we lack. You don't have this? Oh, there is an iPhone, 5G has come. You don't have it. That means you're a miserable person. You should go for it. And the moment we go for iPhone 5G, then they say that 6G has come. 5G is of no use. Or, there is something else which has come. And then we keep chasing. We keep chasing and we reach there, and that becomes futile and useless, and then we keep chasing. Gati, but Krishna is telling he's the real destination, Gatihi. Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Suhrit. Now, these two words that I just mentioned, can somebody repeat? What are the two words I said?
Pati, Gati.
Pati and Gati.
Yes, Prabhu.
No. What is the first word?
Pati.
Pati. Yeah, you're right, because you told Pati is husband. So Pati and Gati. We just spoke about the two things, the role model and the destination. Very interestingly, when I'm saying that the session is essence of life, I should be able to justify the title also. And to do so, I want to say there are these 4 seed verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is considered to be the Chatur Shloki of Srimad Bhagavatam. That means the entire knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam is summarized in these 4 concise verses, 4 short verses. Krishna tells the entire Bhagavatam. Without going into the Sanskrit of those verses, let's see what are those verses. Very, very powerful. So hear attentively. Very, very nice verses, which Krishna says to Brahma in 2nd canto, 9th chapter. The first thing that he says is, Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself. Nor was there the material nature, the cause of this creation. That which you see now is also I, the personality of Godhead. And after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. So you see, if the entire Vedic literature, imagine if somebody is asking you, summarize, tell me everything in just, okay, not in 1 verse, but 4 verses. Not easy. The entire conclusion of the Vedic literature, so this is the entire Bhagavatam is spoken by Krishna in this 4 nutshell verses. And they talk about very, very significant things. I'm not going into the Sanskrit, but they have the similar, those words that I'm using are used by Krishna in that. But he's telling Brahma, it is I, the personality of Godhead, who was existing before the creation. It is Lord is defining his position. Lord is clarifying who he is with respect to this created beings, with respect to the creation. He's telling, I was existing before the creation, when there was nothing but myself. The whole world considers that the material nature is the cause of the creation. Even the material nature was not present. That which you see now is also I. Whatever you are seeing, this material nature is actually a manifestation of mine. And after annihilation, what remains will also be I, the personality of Godhead. So who's the real Pati? It's Krishna. He is telling who he is. And in the next verse, he is telling very nicely, O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, that reflection which appears to be in darkness. So there is a reality, there is a substance, and there is a shadow. Okay, the shadow doesn't have any existence if the substance doesn't exist. So the shadow exists only if there is a reality or there is a substance. Krishna is telling, whatever destination you are going for, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, it has no reality. It's all shadow. So whatever gati that we are defining, whatever GPS location we are giving, this is my destination, is of no value if it is not in relation to Krishna. Whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has no reality. Know it as my illusory energy, Maya. Actually, people say this whole world is Maya. Not true. If it is not in relationship with Krishna, then it is Maya. When we think of enjoying this material world independent of Krishna, without keeping Krishna in mind, we become forgetful of him, then it is Maya. When we don't want Krishna, when we want to do something where we don't remember him or we don't want him to be there, that is Maya. That is what is called illusion. He's telling, if anything without relation to me is actually all illusory. So the first thing that we spoke about is Pati and Krishna in this 4 nutshell verses. The first thing he's also establishing why he is the Pati, why he is the protector or the controller or the proprietor. And the second thing where he's saying is why he is the Gati, because anything else, whatever we do, these are all illusions. These are all just temporary, and these are all meant to just confuse us, bewilder us, and make us perpetually live in this material world. Like that cockroach who's trying to find some destination here and there, trying to take some shelter. Okay, this may look good. Here he goes there. There he goes. But again, he finds that that attempt is not that attempt is futile. Very nicely in Bhagavad Gita also it is mentioned that in the 5th chapter, 23rd verse, where Krishna is telling, Yehi sansparsaja bhoga dukkha yenoye evate te adi antavanta konteya na teshu ramate buddha. Buddha is a person who is intelligent, advanced in his intelligence, not people who are common people or who have no developed intelligence. The Buddha never indulges in allowing his senses to come in touch with the sense objects. Why? Yehi sansparsaja bhoga, the sansparsa, when the senses come in touch with the sense objects, it appears to be happiness, bhoga, enjoyment. Yehi sansparsaja bhoga, dukkha yenoye evate. But it becomes, actually, ultimately, the destination becomes a misery, miserable. Dukkha yenoye evate. Te adi antavanta kaunteya. There is a beginning and an end. Te adi antavanta kaunteya na teshu ramate buddha. That is why a wise, intelligent person doesn't indulge in that. He stays away from that. So we spoke about Pati, we spoke about Gati. The next thing which Krishna talks about is something we'll come to, but the next thing which Krishna actually talks about is called Rati. Rati is attraction. What are we attracted to in this material world? Because the material world, there are so many attractions, allurements, and they keep a conditioned living entity hooked, and they keep a conditioned living entity enamored. It's like the word used by Krishna is like a snake charmer when he's playing the veena, the musical instrument. A snake is just immediately following. It comes under the grip. It is completely under the control of that sound. So like that, there are so many things in this material world designed to take our attraction, Rati. They take away, steal our attraction. But you can see this, how many things, how many likes I'm getting, how many people are following my profile in some social media, or how many people are liking my comments, sharing my posts, or for that matter, anything in this material world which is designed to take away our attraction. Rati goes, then we are doomed actually. And then the last word which I want to use is mati. Mati is our absorption. We are absorbed deeply in our lives. So, we have our sessions sometimes. We were doing this earlier regularly every day. Now we are doing it on weekends. But whatever may be the frequency, people, sometimes they join, sometimes they don't join. Sometimes they find it difficult to join because in our life we are deeply absorbed with many things. Many things keep us busy, engaged. And since we are busy, our mati, our mind is absorbed in so many things. it is very difficult to put that mati in Krishna. Matir na Krishna parato sotova. There is a verse which comes in Prahlad Maharaj's prayers. It is, you can't train your mind to, swato va parato va. Either by oneself or by some method. You can't put it in Krishna. It is not easy. Because mati is in so many different things. We have absorbed our mati. So when it comes to following Krishna consciousness, it is not available. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam taya apahrata chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhir samadho na vidhiyate. Bhoga and Aishwarya. Bhoga is enjoying. I want to enjoy my senses. Aishwarya, I want to have opulences. Bhoga and Aishwarya. If one is too attached to this, absorbed in this, Bhoga, Aishwarya, prasaktanam, then the mind goes in all different directions. Let me do this, let me go for this, let me endeavor, let me try, let me do. So what happens is my mind, is never manmana bhavamad bhakto. Where is the question of manmana? Because my mind is not in my control. So it is going for bhoga and Aishwarya. It is not interested in chanting, not interested in reading, not interested in doing any spiritual activities. Every single thing becomes a burden. It's like a poison. ठीक है, बाद में करेंगे, कल करेंगे, आज नहीं है, जब क्लास आएगा तब देखेंगे. Some other time we will see. And it is going towards, if mind is not engaged in Krishna, there is no other choice. It goes for this, Bhoga and Aishwarya. Because the mind is looking for shelter, looking for some respite. And it looks shelter, it finds shelter in all these things. Bhoga, Aishwarya, prasaktanam, taya, apahrata chetasam. Apahrata is stolen. Chetasam, intelligence is stolen then. Taya apahrata chetasam. Vyavasayatmika buddhir samadho na vidhiyate. Then a single pointed attention. So many places Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Maya Vesya Mano Partha, or Mam Ashrit Maya Ashrita Buddhir. That is 12th chapter, but there is one in 8th chapter where he's telling, even during war, you should think of me. Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Anusmara Yuddhecha. So everywhere, the mind is required to be engaged in Krishna's lotus feet. That is the destination, but it will not happen because one is attached or attracted to Bhoga Ishwarya. Bhoga Ishwarya prasaktanam taya apahrata chetasam. Vyavasayatmika buddhir samadho na vidhiyate. So very interestingly, Krishna, actually, the verses that I was telling, so we spoke about these two verses, the 4 nutshell verses, the first 2 I spoke about, which talks about the pati and the gati. Interestingly, Krishna doesn't talk about mati first. He talks about rati. And then he comes to mati. And how he says this, how he does that. He's telling, oh Brahma, please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos and at the same time do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself also exist within everything created, and at the same time, I'm outside of everything. Okay, so this is what Krishna is trying to say. It's a very interesting verse. Please know that the universal elements enter into the cosmos, and at the same time, do not enter into the cosmos. Similarly, I myself, Krishna is there, but he's aloof from these material things. The material world is being sustained by him. Without him, this material world, there will not be any sustenance. But Krishna has got nothing to do with this material world. He's aloof. Similarly, I myself also exist with everything created, and at the same time, I'm outside of everything. And then in the last verse, he's telling, a person who is searching after the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, must certainly search for it up to this in all circumstances, in all space and time, and both directly and indirectly. Beautiful verse, actually. So this verse is telling what we should do. Person who is searching after the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead, must certainly search for it up to this. The tendency of inquiry is there amongst every one of us. Everybody is inquiring about different things in life. Somebody wants to be successful in one way, somebody wants to be successful in another way, somebody wants to do something, some research, and so on. People are busy doing this inquiry. But this idea or the ability or the tendency of inquiry should go all the way up to Supreme Absolute Truth. A person who is searching after the Supreme Absolute Truth, the personality of Godhead, must certainly search for it up to this. He has to, the inquiry has to come all the way up to that, in all circumstances and in all space and time, and both directly and indirectly. There is nothing that can be omitted. There is no situation, or there is no one who's exempt from this. Everybody must do, is what Krishna says. This is the Chatushloki Bhagavatam, the summary of entire Bhagavatam in these 4 verses, which Krishna speaks to Brahma. Very interestingly, if you see all our Vedic literatures, they talk about 3 things. Anybody knows what are the 3 things the Vedic literature talk about?
Artha, Kama, Moksha.
4 हो गया.
सतो गुणा, रजो गुणा, तमो गुणा.
कौन सा वेदा पढ़ा भाई अंकित? No, either you, okay, I mean, I want you to try, but at the same time, think little, what are the 3 things which Vedic literature talk about? The only 3 things. Entire Vedic literature are talking about these 3 things.
Artha, Kama, Moksha.
What is that? What Kama Moksha? What is the first word, Mataji?
Artha.
Artha Kama Moksha. Where is Dharma?
It doesn't talk about it.
Doesn't talk about Dharma. Okay. Majority of Vedic literatures actually talk about Artha and Kama. Of course, there is Dharma, but that Dharma is, not the Dharma which Bhagavatam talks about. Bhagavatam talks about Sabai, Dharma projita kaitavo vatro, paramo nirmat saranam satam, vedyam vastavam vastu sivadam. I'm not talking about that, but they are anyway 4. I'm saying 3. The Vedic literature is talking about 3 things.
Dharma, Artha,
Dharma,
Artha and Kam.
Yes, very good. 4 में से 3 कैसे तो लाना है? तो
Yes,
वो 3 नहीं है तो ये 3 होगा, ये 3 नहीं है तो मैं वो 3 करूंगा.
नहीं
कैसे तो
Prabhu,
करूंगा
this is
मगर.
the Dharma, Artha, Kam. So there are several types of Dharma has been explained.
No. Don't think that it's not like okay, we've been doing it for some n number of months, years, and all. Now we know it like this Dharma, Artha, Kam. If there are 4, there are 4. I'll not ask 3. The things which the Vedic literature talk about, the 3 things, is called Sambandha, Abhidheya, and Prayojana. Sambandha means relationship. A relationship with the Lord. Each one of us have got relationship with the Lord. The first 2 verses of that Chatushloki talks about Sambandha Gyan. Who Krishna is, who are we in relationship to him. We were reading the Purushottam Yoga chapter, 15th chapter. Krishna says, Mama eva amso jiva loka jiva bhuta sanatana. Mama eva amso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. But Mama eva, you are all of us. Mama eva are eternally part and parcel of me. Mama eva amso jiva loka jiva bhuta sanatana. Eternally we are part and parcel of the Lord. So all of us, when we are trying to have this horizontal relationship with our family members, relatives, friends, and all, each one of us also have a vertical relationship with the Supreme Lord, which we have forgotten. And that forgetfulness also is coming from Krishna. Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Like the cockroach who's left to figure it out, to enjoy, how he wants to enjoy. Similarly, we are just thinking I'm meant to enjoy independent of Krishna, and I'm trying to find some role model, trying to find a destination, absorbed in something. Actually, each one of us eternally are related to Krishna. That same Krishna is situated in our heart as Paramatma. He's waiting for us to develop that relationship. So Sambandha Gyan. And then there is the Prayojana part, which is the destination. What happens if we develop the relationship with Krishna? what will happen to us? So we will go to a destination. That part is called prayojana, which Krishna is telling towards the end. The third verse, that the third verse of Chaturshloki, where he's telling, I'm there, but I'm not there. Understand that this destination, without me, it is all illusion. He's clearly defining what that destination is, what that goal is, and he's telling us, don't get fooled by all these temporary destinations or goals that you're keeping for yourself. Think of that goal, which is, which doesn't get perished, which doesn't get destroyed when the whole world gets destroyed. Natad bhasayate suryo na sasanka na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. Tadhama paramam mama. That is the supreme destination. Natad bhasayate suryo. It doesn't require any external illumination. Na sasanka na pavakaha. It doesn't require any moon. It doesn't require any electricity or fire. Yad gatva na nivartante tadhama paramam mama. And as I was mentioning in the purport, Prabhupada says one should be captivated by this definition of the spiritual world. Let me go there. Let me not struggle. Mana shasthani indriyani prakriti sthani karsati. The moment we are thinking of staying in this material world, prakriti sthani, I want to be here. Mana shasthani indriyani karsati. We are going through this terrible struggle for material existence. Terrible it is. But yet we make some compromise, we make some adjustments to remain here happily forever. So Krishna, very interestingly, he speaks about the relationship, Sambandha Gyan, in the first two verses. He talks about the prayojana, the goal, and then he comes and says, what is the process? How you can do this? Directly, indirectly, in all space and time, in all circumstances, you should be engaged in devotional service to me. That's what is the prayojana part is. Very interestingly, I don't know how many of you have seen this, but if you have traveled in the trains in India, or in some, especially in local train in Mumbai, but in general in trains in Mumbai, or in general in trains in India, these hawkers, these people who come to sell some items. How do they come? First, they try to grab our attention by making some noise, and that noise has to be different from the noise of the train. If the noise matches the noise of the train, then it is gone. So something like fish, something like that they'll do, or something, so that they grab our attention. And once the attention is grabbed, they talk about the product. So let's say some balm, some pain balm, or some घोड़े के नाल का, what is that? horse का वो क्या बनता है उसको, ring. घोड़े के नाल का, असली घोड़े का नाल, काले घोड़े का नाल का अंगूठा. It will take care of all your things. So then he'll say, क्या आपके बेटे को पेट का दर्द है? And you say, yeah, when you might be thinking, और क्या आपको रात को नींद नहीं आता है? बार-बार पेशाब जाना पड़ता है, घुटनों में दर्द है, something or other, it will catch, it will match. That's, you will be thinking, हाँ यार मेरा भी है, when I'm waiting now, tell me what should I do? Hold on, I'll tell you what is it. Then he'll go on telling about the product even more. और भी है इसका फायदा. And then he like that, Krishna also builds up. He says who he is, what is our position with respect to him. Then you are interested and eager. Okay, now tell me, what do I do? Hold on, मैं बता रहा हूँ. And then he says, if you take this, permanently you'll get cured, and this thing and that thing. A great salesman. And then finally he says, this is the process. This is what you should do to come to that destination, or to come to that thing. Like that salesman who'll say, yeah, actually market में $200 में, 200 रुपए में मिलता है, but I'll give you in 20 rupees, only for you. Then you are sold out. You want it at any cost. Like Krishna says, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam, Pratyaksham Avagamyam, Dharmam. Then Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam, Pavitram Idam Uttamam, Pratyaksham Avagamyam, Dharmam, Susukhum Kartum Abhyayam. It's joyfully performed. Patram Pushpam, kuch bhi de chalega. Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, Yume Bhaktya Prayachati. Just engage in devotional service, you'll get it. He does that. So like that, Krishna actually tells what is our position, who are we, what is our relationship with him, and how we can revive that relationship. How part is by being engaged in devotional service. And this is very beautifully summed up in this one verse of Kunti Maharani, and we will stop with that. Of course, this is a Chaitanya Charitamrita verse which talks about Sambandha, Videha, and Prayojan, which I was asking. But the verse of Kunti Maharani is, I'll come to this 2 slides is very interesting. Kunti Maharani is just one prayer, if you remember. All these 4 words are there. Tvayi me ananya vishaya, matir madhupate sakrat, ratim uddhatad adha, gange vogham udanvati. Tvayi me ananya vishaya, matir madhupate sakrat, ratim uddhatad adha, ratim gange vogham udanvati. So the translation is very nice. O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted to anyone else. And such a powerful purport, such a beautiful purport by Prabhupada actually. The purport Prabhupada is mentioning, perfection of pure devotional service is attained when all attention is diverted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. So perfection is attained when the attention, when the mati is diverted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. To cut off the tie of all other affections doesn't mean complete negations of the finer elements, like affection for someone else. This is not possible. A living being, whoever he may be, must have this feeling of affection for others because this is a symptom of life. The symptom of life, such as desire, anger, hankerings, feelings of attraction, etc., cannot be annihilated. Only the objective has to be changed. Desire cannot be negated, but in devotional service, the desire is changed only for the service of the Lord in place of desire for sense gratification. The so-called affection for family, society, country, etc. consists of different phases of sense gratification. When this desire is changed for the satisfaction of the Lord, it is called devotional service. It is just the diversion. The desire is changed for the satisfaction of the Lord, it is called devotional service. The negation of this affection is not required. The feeling of having an affection is not wrong, but to what we are having this affection towards, where this affection is going. So only the objective has to be changed, the direction has to be changed. Desire cannot be negated, one cannot become desireless. But in devotional service, the desire is changed only for the service of the Lord in place of desire for sense gratification. And this second paragraph is also beautiful. In the Bhagavad Gita, we can see that Arjuna desired not to fight with his brothers and relations just to satisfy his own personal desires. But when he heard message of the Lord, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he changed his decision and served the Lord. And for his doing so, he became a famous devotee of the Lord. For it is declared in all scriptures that Arjuna attained spiritual perfection by devotional service to the Lord in friendship. So hearing the message of the Lord, when he heard this, he changed his decision. Initially, he was thinking of not killing because he was affectionate. He was thinking, these are all my bodily relationships. How am I supposed to kill them? But when he heard this message of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, he changed his decision and served the Lord. And for his doing so, he became a famous devotee of the Lord. For it is declared in all scriptures that Arjuna attained spiritual perfection by devotional service to the Lord in friendship. The fighting was there, the friendship was there, Arjuna was there, and Krishna was there. This line, I love it actually. If you see this particular line which Prabhupada is writing, the fighting was there, the friendship was there, Arjuna was there, and Krishna was there. But Arjuna became a different person by devotional service. Everything else remained the same. The material world will be there, the relations will be there, attraction will be there, the sense objects will be there. But one can become a different person by engaging in devotional service. Like fighting was there, friendship was there, Arjuna was there, and Krishna was there. But Arjuna became a different person by devotional service. Therefore, the prayers of Kunti also indicate the same categorical changes in activities. Srimati Kunti wanted to serve the Lord without diversion, and that was her prayer. This is the essence of life. Without getting diverted to other things, one has to pray to the Lord to remain engaged in devotional service. This unalloyed devotion is the ultimate goal of life. Our attention is usually diverted to the service of something which is non-godly or not in the program of the Lord. When the program is changed into the service of the Lord, that is to say, when the senses are purified in relation with the service of the Lord, it is called pure, unalloyed devotional service. Srimati Kunti Devi wanted that perfection and prayed it from the Lord, prayed for it from the Lord. If we don't do that, if we don't pray for our attention not being diverted to many other material things, what will happen is actually nobody can guarantee anything for anyone forever in life. We are all independent. There is, this wonderful literature which is available, and we have the greatest fortune of having come in touch with Srila Prabhupada, one of the greatest, one of the rarest things. Yet this process can become troublesome, can become difficult if we don't control our mind, if we don't allow the mind to remain engaged in Krishna's service. What happens? There are two verses in Bhagavad Gita which is of worth attention. One is this picture which is talking about the verse in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Upajayate. Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamad Krodho Bhijayate. Repeated meditation, contemplation. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha. Pumsa is everyone, all the living entities. When the living entities is meditating on some sense objects, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa, Sangha Steshu Upajayate, then there is an attachment, there is an attachment which develops for that. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa Sangha Steshu Upajayate, Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha. Then immediately from that attachment develops the Kama, Sangat Sanjayate Kama, and attraction. It becomes an obsession to possess that. I need to achieve this. I need to do this. I need to get into that position. Kama, the krodho bhijayate. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. So from krodha comes sammoha. And sammohat smriti vibhrama. Smriti bhramsat buddhi naso. Buddhi nasat pranashyati. Then a memory becomes bewildered. And once the memory is bewildered, then buddhinasa, then the intelligence is lost. And once intelligence is lost, one again falls down into this material world. So very, very careful, very important thing is, this inherent nature of ours where we repeatedly meditate on some things to have, to possess. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa. Without our knowledge, without our realization, we would have soon developed an attachment. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsa. It's a very subtle process. And Sangat Sanjayate Kama, and from that attachment develops Kama and desire. And Krishna says, when he's being asked by Arjuna, the symptom of a Sthita Prajna, first thing he's saying, Prajahati Yada Kaman. Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogata. All these desires, all these materialistic desires which come to enjoy, independent of Krishna, and give it up. Jahati, Prajahati. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partho manogatan. Because this is produced from the fertile brain, from our manogatan, from the mind. I should just enjoy in this way. Actually, this gross thing that I want to enjoy in this material world manifests in subtle way, even if we have taken to this process of devotion in the form of the expectation of puja, labha, and pratishtha. Somebody should honor me. Somebody should recognize my thing. The devotional service is not devotional service, because even if I'm doing devotional service, my intention is to gain some respect, gain some attention. And then what happens? Then again, instead of serving Krishna, we are serving our false ego. And the false ego is becoming bigger. Then again, the Kama and Krodha they're coming back again and again. Kama, Krodha, Vijayata, slide this thing. Why did he say this? Does he know who I am? I've been here for last 10 years. I've been here for 5 years. I'm so and so. I've done so and so things. How can he forget this? How can he talk to me like this? Even though the path is well chalked out, even though the path is very clearly defined by Krishna, for us to remain fixed and to practice this, the most essential thing to remember is Gopi Bhartrur Padakamalaya Dasa Dasa Anudasa. I'm actually servant of Krishna. Who am I? Why am I so agitated? Why am I so disturbed? If something is not told, I feel I have a right to know. I deserve to get this information. If they don't tell, if they don't properly share, then I feel agitated. Why? Who am I? Why should I know everything? Or if there is something which is little here and there, something goes, then I feel very disturbed in my mind. So they're all, because we forget our constitutional position. Gopi Bhartrur Padakamalayor Dasa Dasa Anudasa. Moment we realize that, moment we remember that in our heart, if we are fixed in that position of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's this instruction, there won't be any disturbance. There won't be any material problems. There won't be any, nothing can harm me. Because when Krishna is telling in, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his Sikshastakam, and he's telling, Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Saktis, Tatra Pita Niyamita Smaranena Kalaha. What is the next line? Durdevam Etadrishi Tava Kripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdevam Idrisham Ihajani Nanuraga. Actually, the Lord has invested all his potencies in his holy name. But it is an unfortunate situation that I'm not able to develop a attraction for this. I'm not able to, there is no niyama, there is no kala, there is no time, there is no rules, there is nothing. I can just chant and I can purify my heart, but somehow I'm not getting an attraction. How do I develop that attraction? Krishna says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Trinadapi Sunichena Taroriva Sahishnana Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Trinadapi Sunichena. I have to be humbler than the grass. Taroriva Sahishnana. I have to develop the tolerance like the tree. Amanina Manadena. Without expecting any respect for myself, my own self, I should give respect. Then Kirtaniya Sadahari is possible. Even though it is difficult, it's not easy. We are all in the same path. But the trick, the clue to remain, undisturbed when there is no one else around us, even though we know that this is the right thing to do, but still we are not able to do. The important thing to remember is Gopi Bhartrur Padakamalaya Dasudasa. Who am I? I'm here to serve, to become the servant of Gopi Bhartrur. That thing when we remember, then I don't see, how many items are sent to me, in how many, what was told and how many I found, or small things. So this is not there, that is not there, this is not happening. The doubts in my spiritual life, somebody is able to take it so easily. Why somebody is having so many doubts? Why somebody is, questioning everything? We don't question that when we do some material things. Whatever is told to us, we will do it. But when it comes to spirituality, even if we have understood, even if we have realized today, tomorrow again there will be new doubts, new sets of doubts. These doubts are actually breaks in our spiritual journey, where, having understood, having realized this, we still doubt everything. And it is very, very difficult to get rid of this. This is not easy, even though in one way devotional process is easy, but in another way it is difficult if we are not properly fixed. Doubts will come, this thing will happen, and soon it will look like, oh, this is, maybe I can find some other place. I should do something else. I should search somewhere else. And mind is Bhogeshwara, and it goes. We don't realize, but we are serving our senses, our false ego, and this material things, and then we are stuck in this material world. This is the essence of life. This is the essence of the Vedic literature. This is what Bhagavatam talks about, and this one verse of Kunti Maharani, purely from her heart, when she's saying, Tvai me ananya vishaya matir madhupate sakrat. Asakrat. Asakrat is uninterruptedly, constantly. The word which is used by Sutta Goswami when he's defining Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Radhokshaje Ahetuki apratihata. Apratihata is continuously. In Ayurveda, when you go for some treatment, like they do some massage and all, there is a oil thing which falls. The oil that drips, it is continuously. It doesn't fall. There is not a. It's not a sudden force. It's not a gust, or it is not like drop by drop. It is constant. It's continuously falling. So like that, the attention. Let my attention be constantly be driven. Example is that of those the wives of the Brahmanas, Yagic Brahmanas, who were stopped, who were trying to be, they were the husbands and their other relatives were trying to force him not to go. But the moment they heard that Krishna is hungry, they ran with all the preparations which was made for yajna. Let my attention be diverted like that, like Ganges wants to flow towards the ocean. Let it go towards Krishna, not to anything else. Matir Madhupade Sakrat. Toime Ananya Vishaya, Matir Madhupade Sakrat. Ratim Udhvatam Adha Gange Vaugham Udhanvati. So this is the essence of our life. This is the essence of the scriptures. Any question, any comments? Okay, I forgot to share one last thing. So that's a very important thing. Let me share that and then with that we'll close. Last thing is even if there are snow, even if there are so-called external material disturbances, material calamities, reversals in life, we can still be very peaceful, very, very, if our inner weather, if inside we are firmly fixed, we're not disturbed by some small things. Oh, this was supposed to happen in this way. Why it didn't happen? And then I'm fully disturbed. I'm agitated. No, we can always remain fixed in the perfect weather if we are constantly chanting Hare Krishna. If we just remember to focus our mind properly in chanting Hare Krishna, whatever rounds, whenever we are doing, we chant it with full attention, we will remain indifferent to the external circumstances. Okay, I'll stop here and see if you have any questions or comments. That video was meant for something else, but I thought it's a good use of things for today's session, so I used that. If you don't have a question, I just before you have, I want to ask. I just wanted to tell you that I request each one of you to share and like our Facebook page and YouTube page. We are constantly trying to have good contents there, but if you support us, if you help us, that will go in a long way in terms of our ability to do certain things, because Facebook and YouTube both have certain restrictions based on the number of followers you have and the number of likes or the views that you're having. So it doesn't allow you to do certain things if you have not done. I don't know if you have done, but if you have not, do subscribe to our YouTube channel and like our Facebook page. And then Sunday onwards, Kartik month is going to come, and we will have some wonderful celebration. Some of you have taken the Damodar kit. It's a very interesting thing and very, very nice, essential thing to have when you are here, especially. You can use that photo. You can chant this Damodar Ashtaka, offer this ghee lamp. It's a very powerful thing. One thing which I definitely wanted to mention, because when we didn't do sessions for the last 2 weeks, I was just trying to see what Prabhupada is talking about Purushottam Mass. And I was just trying to see if there is any specific instruction which is given with respect to Purushottam Mass. Because, the other camps, so I mean, they did a lot of this thing about Purushottam Mass. But I saw that Prabhupada has not specifically told anything as with respect to Purushottam Mass. Of course, it is very, very auspicious. It's always good to engage in devotional service, especially in Purushottam Mass. But the challenge, or the flip side of it, which I realized some time back, is there are some people, when we were doing some activities during Journey to Janmashtami, where our Janmashtami was coming up, they participated in wholeheartedly and enthusiastically, and as soon as Janmashtami is over, they stopped it. A devotional life is not meant, it is not a short-term thing where I do it for, it's not a sprint. I do it for 10 days, 15 days, and then after that it is over. I go back to my normal life where I sleep. I get up at 10 o'clock. I don't offer food. I don't do anything. I don't chant, or I just, ho gaya, Janmashtami is over. It's not like that. Or that matter, Purushottam month is over, so it is over. Or Kartik month is over, then I'm gone. I'm coming back to my original material consciousness. It is a constant process to the end of our last breath. So that is why there is, it is auspicious. It is good. It is good to be engaged in devotional service, but it is not just meant for this 1 month. It is meant for our whole life, to remain engaged in Krishna service, to be able to chant the names of the Lord, to be able to get up early in the morning, to be able to engage in devotional service. That is the only way we can reach that destination. Okay, any question, any comments? Okay, Panduranga Prabhu has shared, if you can see that Facebook page and YouTube page, and if you have not liked already, please do so. This is the best part, when you ask questions. First of all, people are not there, and they all in their respective places, and you see, okay, very silence. Of course, whatever we discussed is not easy. I know it's a difficult thing, but that's what it is. The choice is either to live as a cockroach, trying to find enjoyment in this hostile environment where there is constant snow and difficulties, or to come to Krishna Sakrit, just even once telling, oh Lord, I'm yours, and being engaged in his devotional service without our attention getting diverted. Kunti Maharani herself is praying for that. Even though she had connections with the Vrishnis and the Pandavas, both sides they were all devotees. That I just let my attention not get diverted to all this material relationship, let it only go towards Krishna. Then we can achieve the right pati, the right gati, and the right mati and the rati. Okay, if no questions, no comments, we will meet again tomorrow. I hope to see you all. Before we stop, can I request all of you to come in front of your cameras and raise your hands to chant once Hare Krishna mantra, and then we will stop. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama,
Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Srila Prabhupada ki,
Jai,
Srimad Bhagavatam ki,
Jai,
Sai Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.